Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick, Looking Season 2, Episode 2, Looking for Results, William Bibbiani, Alonso Duralde.
We've got bed bugs.
No, we don't.
Oh.
Let's have a look.
All we can do is just live in the moment and stay open with each other. Wide open. Gross.
Patrick has a little rash, and he's convinced that he has AIDS.
Have we met before?
Hi.
Hi, Malik.
There. Hi, Doris.
I just want to know exactly what kind of a good time you had.
Told your friends about us.
I don't know what I'm doing right now. Can you please tell me what to do?
Hi.
Well, okay, I said last week that maybe this season Augustine wasn't going to be a dick. I take it back.
Oh, it wasn't that much of a dick. He went out. He was trying to find the nice Barry gentleman from the previous episode, and then
Naturally, the moment he's disappointed in anything, oh yes, of course I'll take some GHB, even though I've been slamming tequila shots all night.
Is that bad?
Well, the guy said, you haven't been drinking, have you?
Oh.
GHB doesn't play well with others. He's like,
okay.
No problem.
All right, I didn't know. I thought
No, he was
there's
already
a lot
super drunk.
Every
so.
once in a while, especially after last week with House in Virginia.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll hear a line of dialogue on this show now, and I'll wonder if I'm missing a reference, like when they're talking about Patrick and Kevin, and Augie says something like, "Oh, someone you can bring home to mommy, dearest." I'm like, "Oh, I wonder what that's an acronym for." And then I'm like, "Oh no, just actually his mom." Oh,
Yes.
Because his mom was a plot point. Took me a second,
Right, yes.
so I
And
don't
of course,
trust.
Mommy Dearest is a film about Joan Crawford.
No, I know Mommy Dearest. That's why I thought maybe it was a reference.
No.
And then, so I don't trust anything anymore, basically, is my point. I thought this was
This show is doing a better job than you think of walking you through this. I promise.
Okay, all right, that's good to know. That's good to know. Honestly, I thought this was the funniest episode of Looking I've seen so far. Just
Really?
the timing, the dialogue, the interaction, all just really top notch throughout. And I think the funniest bit was when Patrick has like a little tiny rash and instantly assumes he has AIDS, which we've all had some variation on.
I know people who that's their go-to.
Yeah, or I have like a headache. I must have brain cancer. I've done that.
WebMD.
Exactly. So and then when he's Googling the pictures, I'm just like, don't fall down that rabbit hole. Do not fall down that rabbit hole. But there's a bit where he's walking up to an AIDS testing van, truck, whatever you call it, and she's like, "Oh, do you want to come in and get tested?" He's like, "No." And then he walks away very slowly and turns around, and it's just it's almost like Bruce Banner at the end of the Hulk, just like, it was just really cute. And I honestly, I just thought this episode made me laugh a lot. I don't know why. I just thought that everyone thought was really on their game.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think it's a funny show in general. I like that they're really kind of exploring the idea of Patrick defending the notion of no, I can be the other person in this.
There's an allure to it.
I can be the secret lover in this triangle, and it's going to be okay. And it's probably not, but people do rationalize that sort of thing for themselves all the time, and
I mean, it happens all the time.
It's Russell Tovey.
No. Again, I do it too. But it's a situation that is dramatized on TV and in movies and plays and every other medium of storytelling all the time. The idea of an affair, an extramarital affair, any kind of affair, and yet it's so often just a plot point, and there aren't. And usually just the person is just a jerk.
Right.
Or one person involved in the affair is a jerk and the other one is some sort of victim of their advances.
Right.
And it all feels like this really, I'm not saying it's necessarily an agenda behind it, but it always feels like they're desperately trying to justify a very traditional mindset about relationships, which is if you have an affair, the affair makes you a monster in some way. And here it's just there's another side to it.
I think it's being handled more interestingly here than say on Girls right now, where Marnie is having an affair with this singer-songwriter that she's collaborating with.
I don't know. I don't watch Girls.
Okay.
Well, you looked at me.
It's not all about you.
It's always about me.
What else? So Richie's back this week, and yes, Richie is his name. Sorry, we forgot last week.
Yes.
We're bad. But anyway, Richie's back,
bad.
sort of, but still not having it with Patrick, and that's okay.
That was awkward.
That's understandable. But good guy, brought Augustine home, even though those two never really got along very well before.
There was a level of, at least I think, attempted intimacy on Augie's part with Richie, where they were speaking Spanish to each other, and I was with someone who spoke a little Spanish, and he said he was actually being very sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also because he was fucked up.
Right, but Augie is on such a tailspin, and it just seems like he's running at whatever he can, and the fact that he was running towards Eddie Eddie was the guy's name from the last episode.
Eddie.
Who was just nice. He was a nice person. I think he's just looking for someone to latch onto who's nice to him.
Well, yeah,
and I'm wondering if that's going to be Richie now.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I think he's definitely looking for, he's the fixer-upper. And he's looking for somebody who's maybe codependent to take on that renovation project.
Augie Doggy is looking for his doggy daddy.
Okay, stop saying
it works.
That. You've said it twice now.
It's
I insist that you never say it again. So there's that. Lynn, they have the conversation about what went down in the cabin, and is not judgmental about it at all.
No, he's into it. He's turned on.
I think exactly. I think when he's asking like what actually happened, that's because it's a turn on.
And I'm glad they still might go in this direction, but I'm glad that the idea was okay. We're going to reverse it. You think Lynn might have some issues with it or be jealous or whatever, and I'm glad they didn't just go in the complete opposite direction, which is Lynn thinks it's hot. And now Dom is uncomfortable. It seems like they're both pretty cool. That's still something to explore, but I liked that they didn't go the easy route.
Lynn is older and smarter. Like Dom just turned 40 and treated that like it was a big fucking deal on this show, But I think Lynn has been around. He's lost a partner. He's stable. I'm sure he's going to have his own traits that will make him an interesting character and will be vulnerabilities or whatever. But for now, I think he's the sharpest tack on this show and sort of the most sort of settled into his skin.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, that's the whole thing is that everyone on the show is figuring out who they are, and that's again, it's sort of a trope we see in a lot of TV. It's my understanding girls is the same way. Everyone's just trying to figure themselves out, and there's a lot of inherent drama to that. Let me ask you a question. The iPhone game, I would assume it was an iPhone game that they were thinking about playing, which was some sort of like card combat game where you play with various different gay stereotypes.
Yes, or archetypes, if you will.
Would you play that?
I might.
Okay. Does that sound appealing to you? You'd be like, oh, I told him I'm going to download that.
Well, I got to figure out what Top Trumps is first, or whatever the British thing that they were spinning off
I'm
of.
imagining it like Magic the Gathering or like Pokemon, where was it, I'm not sure what it would be. Like Sailor, I choose you, and then like he powers up like another guy, and he's on a ship now, and he shoots a. I think it might be kind of neat.
There are a lot of possibilities.
There's a lot of possibilities. I think that would be actually a really fun thing to do for next season to come out with that game.
I hope someone at HBO is working on this as we speak as a freebie.
I think it was a lot of fun.
What else is out? Doris looks like she might have a fella. That'd be nice. I like Doris. She's great. Doris is great. And I love that she's not having Augustine's shit for a second.
Yeah, no, that's
one of my favorite things about her.
That's what's great about her. And it's interesting because she's a character who is basically served to be just sort of a counterpoint, a voice of reason before. She's never had anything like a subplot before. And there's this moment where they're checking out the guy across the bar. All the other guys think he's gay, thinking about going over there. He comes over and talks to Doris. And there's a moment where it's like, what, me? I get a subplot now? Ooh. Well, you seem nice. And I'm looking forward to it because she is such a fun actress.
Yeah, Lord Weidman's great.
I really enjoy it. And it's nice to see a character who's like sort of sidelined sort of get elevated up into the big leagues, and hopefully they'll have a good story with it.
Yeah, no. I was, when they listed that they were bringing all these folks back as regulars for season 2, her especially, I was like, oh, great, good. Let's pursue that some more. So yeah, I think the show's still on track.
The plot really didn't move forward very much this week, so there's not a lot to really.
Well, I'll tell you, it was very telling. The thing that Kevin says is totally true. That San Francisco is a small town.
Yeah.
And he very easily and the thing is, without putting too fine a point on it, you can tell that that Dom and Augustine have told everybody.
Well, there's that
Doris knows, Lynn knows,
That was a great bit where it's just really casual, not calling any dramatic attention to it, and it was just Lynn's like, oh, how's Patrick doing with that guy he's fucking at work?
Like everybody knows.
Awkward.
So that's going to hit the fan totally because you cannot, not good secret keeping.
No. Well, the only people have their Twitter accounts.
Exactly. So all right. We are going to be in beautiful Park City, Utah next week for the Sundance Film Festival. So we'll be back in 2 weeks with recaps of the next 2 episodes. We hope you'll join us.